Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Great to have you here today on part 2 of our Cabral HouseCalls. Yesterday, hopefully you tuned in on episode 1898, where we answered questions all about should Vata body types be eating salads and some raw foods. We also spoke about white squiggly things in the urine and what might that mean. We talked about what happens if you can't get Equilife-based branded nutritional supplements or other great functional medicine supplements. What do you do? What do you look for? We spoke about that. We talked about heartburn and how it might relate to certain foods or nutritional supplements. We spoke about what do you do when you're renovating your home or office and all sorts of mold and dust and other formaldehydes and chemicals are kicked up. So all those were answered yesterday on episode 1898. Today's episode 1899. If you want to follow along, head on over to stephencabral.com/1899. All right. First question out of the gates today is Lisa. Let's open up this document. There we go. It is now loaded, and we got the questions. Okay, Lisa's up first. We have been trying to have a second baby for 4 years and haven't been successful, so I started to see an acupuncturist. She told me that drinking cold shakes is not good for my body since it takes a lot of energy to digest and it can cause cold uterus. I've been drinking your shakes daily because it has an abundance of nutrients. What is your thoughts on this? Should I stop drinking the shakes? Can drinking shakes really cause infertility? All right, Lisa, no, absolutely can't cause infertility, and that's really not ethical for your acupuncturist to tell you that. So that's a red flag to me, because whenever something is cold, whether it's iced tea, iced coffee, iced a popsicle, whatever it might be, your body has to use energy in order to heat up that substance. That's correct. Can cold food cause cold uterus? There's no scientific evidence. Not only is there no scientific evidence, there's not even a line to draw in conclusion of that. When many women are experiencing infertility, a lot of times it can be nutrient imbalances, micronutrient imbalances, but oftentimes we see in our practice a lot of sympathetic nervous system dominance, which leads to estrogen dominance, lower levels of progesterone, higher levels of cortisol, lower levels of thyroid. All of these things can be checked and overcome by running a stress hormones, mood, and metabolism lab. You can run that with a qualified functional medicine doctor, naturopathic doctor, or integrative health practitioner, or you can run it with us over at equa.life/labs. I wholeheartedly believe in acupuncture. I think that you should be doing acupuncture. I think it's fantastic, but I would not let that be the sole thing that you use in order to rebalance your body. Because although acupuncture is phenomenal for the nervous system, you do need more when it comes to trying to rebalance those hormone levels. So hopefully that was helpful. Also, if you can go to stephencabral.com/courses, and you can actually click on the Female Hormone Health Results Accelerator course, and you'll really find everything A to Z on what to do there as well. So lots of choices, whatever seems like the best fit for you. Samantha's up next. My question is about oral surgery and supplements and protocols. I'm about to start the CBO protocol, followed by a heavy metals detox per my lab results. My IHP also recommended many supplements that I just began taking. I have to be put under general anesthesia to remove all 4 wisdom teeth soon. Will pausing the protocol and supplements for the week of the surgery make it less effective at eliminating the yeast overgrowth? Also, what are your thoughts on continuing the DNS and additional supplements, which is the Cal Mag, the Balanced Zinc, the vitamin C, etc., while taking pain medication? Okay, so some of this you're asking for medical advice, which you know that I can't provide, but I personally would have no problem taking vitamin C, zinc, Cal Mag, the daily nutritional support, while on pain medication, if you even need the pain medication. So Samantha, don't go into it thinking that you need the pain medication. You may or you may not, but not everybody takes pain medication after they have their wisdom teeth out. So just think about that, okay? Pain medication, very difficult on the gut as well. You take it if you need it, but if you don't take it. And you take as little as you do need. Again, you'll work with your medical doctor on this. It's not for me to tell you, but pain medication is to manage pain. It's not to help recover from the surgery, okay? So you'll decide what works best for you. Again, I'm not talking about an anti-inflammatory. If that's prescribed by your medical doctor, that's different than pain medication. Pain medication would be like a Vicodin or Percocet or oxycodone content-based product. So again, that's not my scope of practice, so I'm not going to talk with you about medication, but that's something that you could ask. And then if you need to, you'll certainly pause for that week for your CBO protocol. Then you'll just pick right back up. And then if you take antibiotics, then you'll probably want to start using, although you'll really be okay because you're on the CBO protocol, but certainly it depends what month you're in. If you're in that third month, then you'll be taking that clean gut probiotic and you can just start your healthy gut support right away. So it's a good question. That is my answer. And of course, you can always ask your integrative health practitioner as well. All right. Paula is up next. Hi, Doc. What's your opinion on Konjac noodles? Apparently, it is made out of Japanese Konjac yam, and it's extremely low in calories. Yes, Paula. I believe I answered this on a previous podcast, but I'm happy to answer these again. We're happy to answer this question about these noodles again. It is made out of the yams, but they add glucomannan to it. I believe it's glucomannan without looking it up, so never quote me on that. All of these house calls, of course, are without doing any research. They're right off the cuff. They're off the top of my head, just as if we were chatting together at a conference or something like that. So, but it's causing a lot of bloating and distension and issues in certain people. So a lot of people are ended up with digestive issues because of the actual glucomannan extract, which is, again, it's a plant polysaccharide, but can be difficult to digest because those noodles, I think they're also referred to as like miracle noodles, right? They don't fully digest. And so you're getting fiber, which again is not always a bad thing, but it's not always fully digesting. And if you don't chew well, you've got these long noodles trying to move through your intestinal tract. So I'm not the biggest fan of them. I just think that there's better products out there. If you're looking for low calorie noodles, you can certainly do zucchini noodles that some people call zoodles. You could use sweet potato noodles, which I know isn't super low calorie, but obviously really healthy for you. So there are other things to do. And that's what I'd recommend. I just would be careful. I just know that there's too many cases of people with digestive issues after consuming them. I'm not saying anything bad against them. A lot of people love them. Millions of people eat them. But I personally am just not going to eat them. That's all. Okay. Fourth question today is from Anonymous. Hi, Dr. Ball. I listen to your podcast and enjoy following along on Instagram. Thank you for all your time, energy, sincere passion, and knowledge. You are giving so much hope. Thank you, Anonymous. My question, I'll try to sum it up. I've had low white blood cells for 5 years or so. My doctor keeps mentioning high cholesterol, but not due to diet. I try to lead a healthy lifestyle, but I'm more anxious. I enjoy running and do other workouts. I try to be conscious and eat healthy, but I'm not perfect. My doctor was concerned and sent me to a hematologist. I don't notice any symptoms of it, so I don't think I'm getting sick. Hematologist says it could be benign ethnic neutropenia, or he mentioned another benign cause that he says he sees often. I'm concerned I'm overlooking something. I just started taking the DNS healthy gut support. I do take birth control. Unfortunately, I'm not proud of it. What advice or hope can you give? How can I be sure I'm nutritionally supplementing with everything that I can? Thanks a million, Dr. Brawl. Take care. Okay. So let me see if I can help you with this, because you can run the starter kit at equa.life/labs or with any local integrative health practitioner. And what you can do is you can actually get all of your vitamin and mineral levels tested. So we can look at all your vitamin levels, all your mineral levels, and let you know really where you stand in terms of that. Okay, so whenever you're dealing with typically lower levels of white blood cells, one thing you always want to watch for is there high levels of heavy metals in the body? Are there viruses or infections that are now chronic, wearing down the body? And I would also say, because here's the thing, I see it all the time with bacterial-based infections, with viral-based infections, with high levels of stress, and with a lot of processed food in the diet, meaning like a lot of oxidative stress. So you said that you are someone, I don't know how much you work out, but it said you work out, which is good. You are someone that runs a little higher anxiety. I would look into, is this stress-induced? Because it could be infection-induced, but is it stress-induced? So again, run the Big Five if you can, because the Big Five will also look at your cortisol levels as well. But let's say you can't run any labs. Again, I can't give you medical advice. I don't give any medical advice. I don't cure. I don't provide treatments, anything like that. But if it were me, and I wasn't running any labs, which I would, but let's say I wasn't, I would use the daily foundational protocol, level 2 or level 3. I would do the immunity protocol, and I would probably add full spectrum magnesium at lunch and dinner. And I would do adrenal soothe at lunch and dinner to calm those stress levels. So hopefully that helps. Again, that's off the cuff. It would help with stress. And then you could have your blood taken in 12 more weeks and see what it looks like. All right. All right, Deanna's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on protecting yourself if you decide to get the vaccine. It goes against what I believe, but I feel I may not have the choice if I want to continue my work or travel, holding off as long as I can. I'm a yoga teacher who works with older adults and may need it for work. I strongly feel there's a connection between 5G and COVID symptoms. My other concern is that if I do not get the vaccine, we'll just end up having more severe reactions to EMFs out there. How do I protect myself from that as well? I take your recommendation protocol for preventing COVID, vitamin D, zinc. I take vitamin D, zinc, quercetin, etc. I also feel increased alienated from my friends and family and colleagues due to resistance against getting the vaccine. Every time someone shouts a hooray, I got my vaccine, it's hard not to cringe. People are starting to act like I'm losing my mind for my beliefs. Please help. Okay, so Deanna, all I try to do is be a sounding board for people and present both sides of the argument. That's my job. My job is not to tell anybody to get a vaccination or not get a vaccination. I believe it's a personal choice, and people are allowed to make personal choice, because if you can't make a personal choice with your own body, well, that seems like it's not a good idea, meaning like you should be able to get it or you should be able not to get it. And that's your body, and you should be able to make a choice on that. And again, that's my opinion and my belief. But, you know, if we were to use the same thought process with being able to force you to do something else with your body besides a vaccine, you might say no to that. And so, again, we always have our own biases of what we feel to be the most important. And of course, because everyone lives in their own reality, right? So I wouldn't, you don't have to share your beliefs with everyone. That's the other thing, Deanna. Like, everyone feels like, oh, I need to tell everybody what I believe in. Well, you can, or you don't have to. You can just kind of just be like, hey, good for you, and, you know, go along with things. And that's fine as well. The other thing you stated, so there's just a couple things that we need to correct. Nobody can be forced to get it. So that's a misnomer as well. You can decide to. If your work fires you over that, well, that's not legal. So that's just something else to look at. Like, they could ask you to wear a mask. They could ask you to do other things. And again, I don't know if that's legal or not, since this is out of my department, but you can't be forced to do it. That's for sure. Okay. So what can you do? You feel like, well, the biggest thing is this. You want to always maintain balance and equilibrium within the body. So you just simply want to keep your body as healthy as humanly possible. So your job is to say, all right, I'm going to be using something like the daily foundational protocol, level 2 or level 3. I'm going to be doing the immunity protocol every day. And after you get a vaccination, you may decide to do a heavy metal detox, because there are metals in many vaccines. And you may decide to do a functional medicine detox within the next 3 to 6 weeks after that. But again, it's your choice. And so again, I can't tell anybody to do it or not do it, nor would I, because that's not my position as well. My position is just to present it to people for whatever they feel is appropriate. And my job is to simply support. So if you get a vaccination, I support you. If you don't get a vaccination, I support you. That's how being unbiased looks like. So hopefully that was helpful. And Deanna, hopefully you could get as much as you can out of that answer. All right. Last question of today. I think this is number 6. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So today, last question is going to be from Marco. Marco says, could sneezing be caused by a food sensitivity? All right, could sneezing be caused by food sensitivity? Yeah, absolutely. And so I've done many shows on food sensitivities. I believe they would be under the digestion category if you go to stevencabral.com/podcast. And when you're looking at food sensitivities, though, you want to differentiate between an IgE or even IgA, as well as an IgM or IgG. So let's explain those just for a moment. So your IgE and your IgA are going to be a little bit more immediate. Okay, just think of IgE, immediate. Okay, it's an easy way to remember it. That's going to be more of the hives. It's going to be more of the headache, the brain fog. It's going to be the sneezing, the watery eyes, those types of things. Now, it could be a food sensitivity, but what a lot of people don't even think about is it could also be pesticides on the food. Okay. Or it could be histamine related as well. So it's like not necessarily the food, but it's the histamine related reaction from that. So these are all things that you can look at and absolutely do cause sneezing. Like, for example, I don't know if he's listening right now, and I won't even say relation, but every time this individual eats ice cream, his wife always jokes around saying, okay, here comes the sneezing. He always sneezes within like 10 minutes of eating ice cream. So that right there is a food sensitivity, right? That's a food sensitivity to either most likely the protein, of course, the casein inside of the ice cream, the dairy itself. It could be certainly from the lactose, which is the sugar, but usually the lactose is what causes cramping, bloating, or loose stool. The actual sensitivities come from the protein. Okay, so that's IgE and IgA. And then the IgM is a little later response, and IgG is the 24-hour to 72-hour response that could end up with brain fog or joint pain or inflammation or skin rashes or fatigue or low mood. All of that is from a delayed reaction from eating the food. And that's why it's really important if you want to look for the delayed reaction, because it's much harder to find out, right? So if you think about it, let's say you're listening to this show on Sunday, I could ask you, what foods did you eat Thursday night and Friday morning? Because you could actually be reacting to them today. So it's pretty impressive of how our body works. And you can find those out, though, by actually running the food sensitivity test, the IgG food sensitivity test, right at equi.life. So it's equi.life/labs. That's where all the labs are that I spoke about on today's show. And so, of course, you can always do your own at-home labs. I run my two daughters' labs every single year. I've done their food sensitivity since they were 3 years old. They're now 6 and 8 years old. And we run one every single year. They don't love it, but they do actually like seeing the results because I show them the results. And it's part of their learning process as well. It's just a little finger stick, just like you would get for a blood drop for checking your blood sugar. So it's pretty simple. Kids can do it. Adults can do it. And I do it with my whole family every single year. I run all of mine every single March, and I typically do theirs right around the summertime, around their birthdays as well. So hopefully that was helpful, Marco. Of course, I'm always happy to do follow-ups, and there's much more information at stevencabral.com/podcast, because today was episode 1899, which means tomorrow there will be 1900 previous podcasts. Do tune in tomorrow for our 1900th show, which was going to be a motivation and mindset Monday. Love that it falls on that day of the week. One of my favorite shows to be able to record for you. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the weekend, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining me here today on the Cabral Concept. And before you go, I want to make sure you know that right now, going on over at equi.life, we are actually giving away one of the most popular products we have offered over the past 12 months. And that is one of the best immune boosting products out there. It is our alkalizing vitamin C. The alkalizing vitamin C, which contains buffered magnesium, calcium, and potassium, actually makes it easy on the stomach and the gut, while delivering more than 2 grams of vitamin C per serving. This is absolutely one of the best vitamin C formulations out there. It's easy in the gut, easy to absorb, and also provides you with those alkaline buffering minerals at the same time. You can get your bottle completely free on all orders over $99 right now over at equi.life. That's EQUI.LIFE. I have to say, this is while supplies last. We reserve 500 free bottles for this giveaway, and no doubt about it, they will go fast. Get your free bottle of alkalizing vitamin C over at equi.life, EQUI.LIFE. Enjoy the product and let us know how it went for you.